When polling lots of customers to find out what the most important thing is for them when buying an electric vehicle, the two most common ones are range and price. This is something Tesla makes sure to get right because they know this is what the majority of their potential customers and current customers care about. That's how the Cybertruck has captivated so many people despite its controversial design. It becomes a lot easier to love once you know the reasoning behind it. And a lot of this reasoning comes from the money-saving tactics involved with the Cybertruck's design, because Tesla knows the issues that so many people have with electric vehicles, whether it be range or price, and this prioritizes those heavily. So I wanted to go over what I think some of the top 6 were. There's a lot of little ones, but these are the ones I feel like should go on the record and should definitely be highlighted. Some more obvious than others. So let's start with some of the obvious ones. The look. That stainless steel exoskeleton, while being functional for being super durable, as in this thing looks like it just wants to get dirty. This thing could take hits. This thing can take doors opening and not dent easily, as they showcased on stage. So from a durability standpoint, it's helpful, but also from a manufacturing standpoint, it's immensely easier to create because there's not an intricate paneling process that Tesla has to go through with all of their current models right now. That stamping process is very expensive, and it's going to be immensely easier to autonomize the production of the Cybertruck when you have such flat and sharp edges, because it means that getting the steel together and putting it into that exoskeleton the car will be built inside of is a whole lot easier, because like there were so many memes about the Cybertruck being, you know, a low polygon vehicle, those older video games that had very low polygon counts, those were helpful because it was more efficient for the computer to render, and kind of in a similar way, it's more efficient for manufacturing to put together. Because it's not very precise with how curved and how swooped the edges are, they're just straight, they're flat, and that means easier to put together and likely a lot easier to work on, as Monroe has expressed his love of the Cybertruck's design. And I personally think it helps a lot from a creative standpoint, because Tesla's realized that they will design their cars a particular way, but once they get sent out into the masses, people modify them, they do paint jobs, they do wraps, they turn them into performance versions, they do all kinds of modifications, and the Cybertruck being so flat and straight makes it probably super easy to wrap and also super easy to modify. So in that sense, it allows for lots of customization by the end user, which I think a lot of people will appreciate. But the stainless steel exoskeleton is functional, while at the same time probably saving them a ton of money. Money saver number 2, which definitely should be mentioned, is that it's super helpful to have flat panes of glass. This is a very expensive part of current Tesla production, making these complicated panoramic roofs and glass windshields and everything that has to curve in a very particular way, and also can make it more fragile. There's very little room for error during the manufacturing process if any part of that glass does not line up with the rest of the car properly. So by making the Cybertruck only need flat glass for both the windows, the windshield, and even the roof, that makes it, for one, a lot cheaper to manufacture, but also this is Tesla armored glass, which, memes aside, okay, we get it. The demo, it cracked, that's funny, ha ha ha. I get the jokes and everything, but if they would have thrown that steel ball at any other car window, it would have gone right through it, and on the Cybertruck, it bounced off. Yeah, it shattered, but as Tesla mentioned, wasn't really supposed to do that, and personally, I'm happy it shattered, because that means they go back to the drawing board and make sure Tesla armored glass actually performs better than it did on this prototype. And a lot of people also forget that they had a Tesla armored glass demo right before Franz started throwing the ball at the Cybertruck itself, and the demo worked flawlessly. They showcased how easy it is to break traditional glass, and how they could drop the ball like 30 feet on armored glass, wouldn't even shatter. There were tiny micro fractions in the armored glass when they brought it out on stage, because they were testing it out so much, throwing the steel ball at it, and Elon later tweeted out videos of it working fine. So regardless of how botched that demo was, the armored glass is objectively stronger than almost anything on the road today. And making sure all of it is very flat and straight saves a lot of money in the manufacturing process, which in return saves a lot of money for you, the end consumer. Number 3, another surface level money saving tactic, is the no paint job. This is actually how the stainless steel looks. They did not have to coat over it with anything, and getting the paint right on Teslas right now is a very intricate part of the process. Tesla kind of revolutionized the color red with the Roadster and the Model S. They wanted to have like this signature red paint that was very much iconic to Tesla, and it costs a lot to choose a different paint job from Tesla. It's obviously free to get all Teslas in white, but that does not mean it is a cheap part of the process. The fact that the Cybertruck lets Tesla bypass all of that and just go straight to, okay, if the steel fits in the right shape, we're done. We don't have to worry about the paint jobs after the fact. For one, I think that makes it, again, like a blank canvas that people can modify and paint and wrap if they want, but it also saves a ton of money because when they're marketing this thing as something that doesn't have any paint on it, that pretty much means it can only look better if you do decide to modify it. I've seen those renders, a matte black Cybertruck, and my profile picture is the white Cybertruck. Sure, it would probably get real dirty, but I still think it looks awesome. And Tesla's just saying, look, if everybody's wrapping and painting their cars however they want them to, let's just make stainless steel with no paint on it the default. Because if people aren't modifying them, if they're not paying for the paint job or getting a wrap, they probably don't care that much about the exterior of the car anyway. And from a personal preference standpoint, I do think it looks kind of cool, and there's a lot of people that probably don't even want to paint it or wrap it because they like that cold rolled hard stainless steel look to it. Even if it gets some dings along the way or some minor scratches on that steel, people will look at it as, you know, little individual stories along the way. And if you don't like it, then yeah, it'll be pretty dang easy to wrap the thing. But money saver reason number 4, which is actually likely the best reason the Cybertruck is going to be able to undercut all of its competitors, is ramping battery production. We're probably going to hear a lot more about this on Battery Investor Day, which should be just next month. I'm very excited to cover that and hear everything Tesla's been working on, but the rumors at this point is that they're working on batteries that can last a whole lot longer, but also, which I think is just as important, maybe if not more so, finding ways of ramping battery production to the sense that they can get down to $100 per kilowatt hour and essentially make battery packs for the cars a whole lot cheaper than what they currently cost in other EVs. Tesla's already a leader in this when it comes to how much batteries they can stuff in their car and not break the bank. Because Tesla's pursuing so much vertical integration, that means, of course, that they're researching and developing their own batteries in-house, and over the next year or so, once they start ramping that battery production, it's going to be really, really cheap to put massive battery packs in the Cybertruck, and that's something they're doing right now. It's not something inherent about the Cybertruck's design. It will probably affect the entire lineup, but the reason I brought it up in this video is because of all the money-saving things about the Cybertruck, the one that probably saves the most money is the battery pack. That's known for being the most expensive part of an electric vehicle, so getting that cost down, which Tesla is working immensely hard on, is going to end up paying off because more consumers will be able to easily afford the Cybertruck while still maintaining a decent range. But what else does the Cybertruck have uniquely that makes it a lot cheaper to manufacture? I think number 5 should go down as that interior. You have a very, very minimal clean inside. In fact, the prototype of the Cybertruck didn't even have sticks next to the steering wheel. It's literally just, you know, that racer style wheel, and that was about it. I think there were buttons on it for blinkers, but other than that, it's incredibly simple and clean in there. They have this kind of white marble looking countertop, except it's not made of marble. That's pretty heavy. The people that were at the event said that it was made of some type of paper while still remaining rigid but simultaneously being light. And the Cybertruck does not even have a center console like the Model 3 and Model Y do, because they're trying to make it a 6-seater, but once those seats go in there, there's basically that huge 17-inch landscape display. There's that little rear-facing mirror display. Because of the design, you have to have the rear-facing mirror be a camera angle, and that's it. Some people may find that boring, but it's a money-saving tactic, and some people may actually prefer that. They like the look of a clean, simple interior. Definitely a lot of Model 3 and Model Y owners are gonna love that, so why not bring it to the Cybertruck? If it works, it's functional. In fact, at the event, the driver of the Cybertruck was changing gears of like drive to reverse on the display, no longer needing a stick. So we don't know if that will come over to the production model, but it just shows you what lengths Tesla is willing to go to save some money so that the EV can become more affordable. Okay, and number 6 is kind of a small one, but it's one that gets underappreciated, so I wanted to bring it up. The autopilot cameras are embedded within the wheel well trim. Is that what it's called? I'm sorry if it's not, but that saves them on design by not having to stick cameras in awkward places around the Cybertruck. They can just embed it into a part of the vehicle that needs to be there anyway, which I think is really, really smart. It probably saves on having to add in that little badge that you need on Model 3s and Model Ys, and that's normally where the camera is. Cybertruck doesn't need that because it's built into the wheel wells. Really genius, very efficient, and it showcases that Tesla's efficiency priorities don't limit just to the batteries. It also comes to manufacturing and design. So what do you guys think of the Cybertruck's design choices? Do they warrant the lower price point? Would you guys be willing to pay more for an electric pickup truck if it looked more natural? Feel free to let me know what you're thinking down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have an excellent day. Take care.